Hi everyone, this is Hanish. So today we are going to have a class on how we are going to access the higher self. So before going into the class, I just want to give a small glimpse about who am I and why I am doing this. As I said, my name is Hanish. I worked in different countries and banking sector. So how I was connected to spirituality is back in 2007 when I met with an accident. So that was the time when I actually was on the bed for nearly 2 3 months. So that was the time when I was actually uh, feeling no very bored and not able to do anything. So that was the time when my father, who was already a meditator by the time, he started giving me books and he started group meditation. By that time, he used to every day he used to bring people from uh, bring his meditators, his friends, uh, to come along with him to my room, and they used to sit and do meditation. Though I was at the time point of time, I was not so much inclined towards meditation, but I was not having a choice because I was lying on the bed for the time for almost like 3 months. I've been lying on the bed. So I don't have any other choice. Though I was not interested in meditation, I used to do meditation because it's like as a compulsion I used to do. But as I was doing, I used to feel some kind of energy flowing into my body. Something I didn't understand why is it happening like that. So, but over a period of time, I started reading books. So I was able to understand what is happening with me. What is this energy? What is this energy for coming into me? So I was like completely started getting a little bit interested towards meditation. So till then I was like someone who was like very person with complete scientific temper. I don't have any knowledge or interest on spirituality. So I never used to think or do any spiritual things. So once I started reading the books and doing meditation, I was feeling something, but still my intellect couldn't, even though I'm getting a lot of energy and all, I couldn't, accept this kind of things that science cannot explain. So one day, Patriji came to my father's guru, my guru. He came to our home. So I was able to just stand up and walk a little bit by the time. And my father took me to him. And my father told him, Sir was sitting on the bed, I was lying on the bed. Sir told him that I was having a small accident in this state. Sir looked into my eyes and he just took hold of my hand. And suddenly, as if an electric shock has induced into my body, I felt a lot of energy flowing from him to me. My father, who was holding who was holding my hand, just left my hand because of the intensity of the energy that was coming from the body. So that was completely, an experience for me that really broke my limitations of thinking limitations of about energy and science. Because till then I was completely only someone who will only believe what is science, what is material, and anything that is related to with proof. So my belief is completely limited to them because our education is completely something that actually not, dominates or makes us dominate our left brain, which is completely logical brain. So I was completely thinking about cause and effect, and I was completely thinking about the science behind it. So that was the time I was like completely blown away. I was like, what is this? How can one transfer energy to someone else? How is that even possible? I was completely a little bit shocked, a little bit. Then I came back. Then I started doing some research and what is this science and what is the law of energy. I was, recollecting what is all taught in the science for us from school days about Newtonian physics. And then I started exploring the quantum physics, and I was trying to understand what is this all about. So in this process, I did a lot of research and I understood a lot of things, some of which I'm going to share with you a very little bit today. So I'll be sharing my screen in the process of explaining a few things. So today we are going to discuss the topic about access to the higher self. How we are going to access and what is the difference between ourself and higher self. So let us think who we are basically. Let us assume who are we. If I say who are we are nothing but a collection of our experiences. It's that shaped our mind, that shaped our intellect. This is all. This is all. This is what we are. So when we ask what is self, so let us see what is self. Before going to the higher self, let us see what is self. So a self is something which we feel it is like I or me or my mind. I am the mind or my ego or the intellect that is with me or the conscious, and maybe sometimes we also go that the subconscious. So this is what the self that is all related to. That we relate most of ourselves to the basics of this. So then we should also know what is the higher self, because everything is not possible with the self. Whatever you want, if you think only the matter will affect the matter, that is a limited thinking of the self. But if you think beyond the self, you will go into the higher self. So let us see what is the higher self. So higher self is sometimes described as the infinite, or something that is not known, or the source, or it is also termed as the universal mind, or the spirit, or invisible moving forces, or quantum field, or super consciousness. So any name, all these names are given to something of the higher self, to describe the higher self. So when you say the higher self, something that cannot be accessed with the normal self. Without normal self, you cannot even access the higher self. So it's like vice versa. Higher self cannot be accessed by the normal self or conscious, or without this conscious, you cannot even access the higher self. So it's both are interdependent. So mostly when we talk about the higher self, we think about some universal energy or something that is beyond our beyond our visibility, something that we cannot perceive. Then how can someone or the yogis or the mystics, or how they are able to know about the unknown? So the unknown is something that is everywhere, can be accessible to anyone, which we call as the higher self. But it will be accessible to the higher, when the higher self is accessible only when the self is limited, closed. When we close the self, ourself, then only we'll be opening to the higher self. So let us see how scientifically I will be telling you a few things about science. scientifically how the self or the material plane or the quantum plane is designed. So basically, we are all someone who are learning Newtonian physics from our childhood, from education, and all these things. So Newtonian physics is something is only limited to atoms and molecules in the physical reality. So that is completely limited to the physical plane. So it's completely about the matter and the material objects. And for Newton, according to Newtonian physics, space and time are linear. That means you can't experience space and time uh, without any logic. That means everything has to be going a step-by-step way. Then only space and time are linear. That is the model of the Newtonian physics. But in 1925, physicists, many physicists, started to think beyond the Newtonian physics. They are trying to think that something is happening beyond the Newtonian physics, and they try to think about it. And they even made some theses and tried to bring about it. But the material world did not accept people doing research on such things, and they did not pay heed. I mean, they paid heed and ignored the people who used to research on the things that are not in a material plane. One example is David Bohm. David Bohm is a researcher from US who did not get any kind of support when he was dealing with the research on the consciousness of the higher self. But he did a lot of research. So David Bohm, when he was researching, he was not given any support. So he moved to some other country. From there, he publishes some papers related to the quantum physics, which were ridiculed by people like Bohr and all. So why these people ridiculed is because when he sent the thesis to these people, all the scientists came forward and met, and they said only one thing: either we have to accept the quantum physics, or we have to ignore the quantum physics. So that is what they decided, and they ignored the quantum physics. So, but still, he used to David Bohm used to continue his research. He moved to UK and he started his research. And there he used to meet many eminent people. And one such eminent person is from India. He is Jiddu Krishnamurti. So Jiddu Krishnamurti is also someone who used to talk a lot about the quantum physics. So David Bohm and Jiddu Krishnamurti, they met and they used to discuss a lot about this quantum physics, and they brought many theories. So, as I said, quantum physics challenges this old Newtonian model, and they brought out something new. So they said that universe is not just made of matter, but it is made of energy, which is somehow it is also referred to as the field. So the field, what is the field? A field is something like an invisible moving force that shapes the physical reality. So this is what they said. So according to the quantum physics, which also Einstein accepted, the space and time are wrapped by massive objects. That means if you take the Earth plane, I will show you the next pictures. The space and time is wrapped by the massive objects that are surrounded by the object. That means the object, like Earth, is going to shape the space and time around it. So that is what the new quantum physics has said. And also during the research, when Einstein and some other people used to do the research on the electrons, they used to see that if they collapse the electron has to fall just like a Newtonian theory with gravitational pull. They have to fall down. But they observed that the electron is not actually falling down. The electron is actually falling down in the like a ball that falls from the staircase in a step by step. That means it is vibrating and going. So they understood that the vibration is the main important thing, and everything is vibrating. So everything in the world vibrates. So they understood that each and every object, the humans, or the objects, the phones, the laptops, the mobiles, everything is made up of energy in a different form. Everything has a different form. That's it. So quantum physics says that everything is an energy. So this is how the Newtonian's fixed space reality is. And on the next, you can see the Einstein's flexible space-time. So if in the left side figure, you can see the Newtonian fixed space, that everything is space and time is linear. But Einstein, what he says is it's a flexible. Both the time and space are referred, or they will be influenced by the field, influenced by the object, or the object is influenced by the field around it. So to Newton, space and time were fixed and gravity was a force pulling object together. That is what the Newton's theory that we all learned. But Einstein determined that space and time are like a fabric, and massive objects can wrap space and time. That means the space and time is not same for every object. So for every object, and especially the massive object that is having the gravitational pull like that, they have their own space and time. So this is what he tried to explain. So let me tell you about how we can think about relate ourselves to the field. When I say the field is nothing but the higher self, that we also call as the field. It can be called as many names. Some they call the spirit, they call the super consciousness. Scientifically, they call the field. So you are not separate from the field. As I said, most people think that when I am talking about the field of super consciousness, so we think that we need to go and do something to get the super consciousness. So actually, you are not separated. Both we and the super consciousness of the field or the higher self, we are all in the same field. So we are also a part of the field. Indeed, actually, we are the field. So I will tell you how, through an example, I will explain how we can say it's the field. Okay, and without mind and our body, the higher self or consciousness cannot be known. To know the consciousness, to explore the higher self, we need to use our mind and body. Without this mind and body, you cannot go to the higher self. And with the mind and body, we can explore the higher self, and we can experience the higher self. So there is one example that when I show my hand, you can see the light falling on my hand, right? So actually, the light is reflecting from the hand. Without the hand, I can't say there is light here on the hand, because the hand is a body that is needed to tell that light is on the hand. And this light actually illuminates the hand. So in the same way, the higher self, it actually needs us to access it, needs our body and mind to access it. So again, the higher self, just like the light is not limited by the hand. The light is everywhere. So in the same way, consciousness or the higher self is everywhere. It's not limited to anyone. And it is with the reflection of the hand one can understand the light or experience it. When I can see my hand and show my hand like this and see there is a light on the hand falling. So because of the reflection, in the same way, we can experience the higher self as a reflection of us. We are the people, we are the one using our mind. Once we can experience it, then that is how we can experience it. That means we have to use our body and mind to experience the higher self. So for example, if I remove my hand, but the light is still there, but it is not experienced. So light is everywhere. In the same way, higher self is everywhere. It is surrounded. We are also part of it. But we can only experience it only by using our body and mind. So throughout ages, the beginners, I say normally people who are able to tap into their higher self. Mostly spirituality is not limited to people who do meditation or people who are completely immersed in meditation. Even the people who we talk about, the people who succeeded, who are the winners. So all these people have always referred to a place within each of us called the higher self. Because that is the place where an image of perfection exists that is continually attempting to express itself. So these people are able to connect to the higher self. Normally what happened is we are all conditioned according to the society and education and parents, to follow certain set of things. With we are not trained to access our own higher self. It is the higher self that actually expresses through us. It is the higher self that actually expresses itself through something that we really want to do, something that we are really passionate, something that we really feel the flow when doing. So that is where the higher self is expressing itself through us. But what happens in the society conditioning is that we are supposed not to pay attention to the higher self. We are completely made to follow the rules and things that actually the world wants. So this higher self actually always sends stimulating and upbeat messages to our consciousness. So messages that are meant to protect our integrity and wholeness as creative beings. Messages coming from the heart always have a complete disregard for the facts or surrounding circumstances in our life. So normally, the higher self always try to express, as I said, it always try to express itself. But the problem is, all the messages that we are getting are factualized. So when you see only the facts, then you can't actually feel that's real. For example, for a person, the higher self is actually persistently it's messaging you to do something. But when this person treat his facts, I mean, look at his facts, what something he really want to do is completely out of picture. That means someone who is not able to do feels that it is not possible. And he leaves that messages, and he says these are illogical messages that I'm getting, the desires that are coming from the heart, because the higher self channelizes itself through the consciousness, through the heart. But most people are, as I said, are completely conditioned to work with the brain, and you compare this message coming from the heart with respect to the logic from the brain, which says that it is not possible. If you see any winner or any person, it can be a person who invented the electric bulb, or the Wright brothers who invented the plane. So for everyone, it looks like it's impossible, but for them, it looks like a fantasy. When they talk about things like that, people will laugh at them, because to their facts that is not possible. But people who are in the fantasy are people who are actually experiencing these messages, and they're actually focusing on the higher self or intuition, intuition, and someone who actually completely works with the intuition and follows the intuition, follows the heart. So these are the people who are actually experiencing all these things, and that is the reason they are able to achieve those things. So anyone else who actually does not pay attention to the intuition or the messages evolving from the heart are people who, because they compare that message or the intent, the intuition message that came to them with respect to the facts that they know in the material world, and which actually makes us feel that that is impossible. So if Thomas Alva Edison, who failed 10,000 times, but he finally succeeded because he is able to pay attention, and he is someone who is dropped out from the school and someone who is not conditioned by the material world, and he used to pay complete attention to the intuitiveness that he has from the higher self. So because of that, for everyone, something a bulb getting giving light is something completely a concept that is illogical concept, or something they will laugh at. But for Edison, it is not something like that, because he feels that it can be done irrespective of the facts that he failed 10,000 times, but still he tried. It is because he is able to believe his intuition that is coming through his higher self. Today's problem is everyone tells the story of Thomas Alva Edison to others and say that, see, he failed 10,000 times, but still he succeeded. The problem is, even though he is failing, he is following his heart that he will succeed. But in today's world, most of the people are trying to achieve something that is not from the heart, but that is coming from the mind, or the mind which is conditioned by the society as a whole, which the goals, the desires are arising from the mind, not from the heart. So that is the difference. So unfortunately, as I said, 99 out of everyone, or every 100 people misread the signals they are constantly receiving. Rather than viewing these messages with their inner eye of understanding and seeing them as purely unique pictures that are packed with power, possibility, and promise, these images are actually considered idle, ridiculous fantasies, or daydreams, or illogical things, or impossible things, or something that actually is not related to them. Because 99 out of every 100 people are actually misreading. That means they are actually not aligned to the heart. Because when something comes from the higher self, it seems actually impossible in the outer world. In the material world, it seems impossible. But only those people who actually feel that it is possible, irrespective of the facts and logics that are available outside, they are the people who are really going to succeed in their life, and they are going to attain they are going to explore their true potential. The inner potential can be explored only through following the messages arising from the heart, connecting to the super consciousness, which are the product of the higher self. So many of us actually are completely not in alignment with the higher self. We completely are aligned with the mind, which is completely conditioned by the society or the experiences. So our experiences say that this cannot happen, because the experiences are from the mind. But something that comes from the heart doesn't need any logics or proofs or facts. It can be done irrespective of the problems or the challenges or the facts. If you are able to access the messages from the higher self to do anything, and if you follow the higher self, which actually manifests to you, into you, through your consciousness and your heart, then everything is possible. Many people actually try to manifest things through their mind, and that is where the real problem is. So you can only manifest things that are originating from the consciousness, or even sometimes subconscious. But most of us have goals and desires or things that are related to the conscious mind. That means the goals and desires that they are given to this mind by the society, or he developed his goals and desires by seeing the external world or the society. But actually, these are the goals that most people strive very hard to achieve. And even though they achieve the goal, they do not find satisfaction and happiness over a period of time. But the messages or desires that actually comes from the heart, if they are pursued, they are definitely attainable, and they are definitely, all the facts, the impossibilities will collapse, the space and time will collapse, and we will somehow easily able to achieve. Somehow we will able to achieve into the state of synchronicity. So what is synchronicity? Synchronicity is something like when you are trying to do something, then automatically things will be coming towards you. So suddenly, if you are trying to do something, a person might come in your way and help you with it, where you can go. So that means the universe synchronizes many things to make you walk through all these things. When you are working with something that is connected to your heart, the consciousness, and the higher self. But when you are trying to work only on the desires or messages that originate from the mind that you created or created by the conditioned mind, then you are then he is the person who is going to struggle. He is the person who is going to face a lot of obstacles, and that is where if you see today's world, many people are depressed, unhappy, discontent, and all these things are actually coming because of the focus completely on the material part of the world. Only then someone who goes inside, accesses the energy of the heart, and connects to the consciousness through the higher self, only then whatever you will do will be in align with the true purpose of why you are here. So most of us are unable to realize what is our true purpose. 90% of society is not able to realize what is the true purpose they are here. So the only way to find your true purpose is by aligning yourself to the heart, aligning yourself to the consciousness, and accessing the higher self. And the only way to do it is not by looking outside, but going inside. So when all the senses that are completely receiving information from the outer world are shut down, and that is the time when there is nothing that is coming inside us, when there is the emptiness on all the senses of the information that is blocked from outside, that is when the inside actually blooms. So when you bloom from the inside, you will be able to reach the higher self. And the only way to do is meditation. So when you meditate, what happens? You are closing all the things that are going to affect you. You are closing the eyes, you are not hearing good, you are not going to hear anything, or you are going to close your mouth, you are going to close your limbs and sit. You are like all your senses are completely down. So the senses through which we experience the material world are completely shut down. So when these things are shut down, then only there is a possibility where we can access the infinite or the source or the field, whatever it is. So that can be accessed only through meditation. So that is the reason everyone has to do meditation. People come to meditation when they actually feel pain in their life. Until then, most people do not come towards meditation. When the pain is amplified, they come, then they search for something and they come to meditation. But that is not the way. Do not wait for something to push you to do meditation. Why wait? The question is, why wait? Why wait for something to push you towards it? Why wait for something to happen to you so that you will look for things like this? So now is the time to start being in the now. So I want all of 10 minutes. I will be